It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Falacious,
Good morning, I'm Philip Simon.
and it is certainly a joy to be with you this Easter Monday. A happy Easter to all of you. We hope that you will enjoy the show. Phil and I have brought the show to the beach because we know that that's where you're going to be spending today. We are actually at the LJM Maritime Academy, Phil.
I listen, an incredible facility. Really looking forward to this show, learning more about what it is that they're doing here. It's almost like one of those best kept secrets.
It certainly is. We hope that after today it won't be a secret anymore, and you will know how you can become involved with the LJM Maritime Academy, whether that's through sponsorship or coming here as a student. It will certainly give you opportunities throughout the show. We're going to be talking to some of the professors here.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to some of the students here, and we'll be learning a lot more even about the Bahamas Maritime Authority itself. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fantastic show.
That's right, Star, but of course, we can't begin any show without having our own weatherman, Mr. Godfrey Burnside, with Weather at Sunrise.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, guys, and good morning, Bahamas, and a happy Easter Monday to all. Hope have a pleasant Monday, and note the beaching for this Monday for everybody going at the beach. Any weather today, we do have high pressure to the east of the islands. That's being the dominant weather feature across the islands. Those winds have dropped off slightly, but we still have some windy conditions also today. In your satellite picture, very little clouds around the islands, so expect a pretty good day weather-wise. Weather today, partly sunny, a bit breezy, on the warm side, with a chance of a few passing showers. High temperature today reaching 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, you can expect a few patchy clouds on the mild side. Your low temperature going down to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And for some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 83 and 78, in Jamaica 82 and 73, Trinidad 89 and 76, and the Turks and Caicos Islands 82 and 70. Across North America, Atlanta 82 and 62, in Raleigh 81 63, in Miami 83 and 70, Dallas, Texas 79 and 67, and Toronto, Canada 51 and 41. Five-day weather outlook. That high will continue to dominate the weather across the island, so we're looking at partly sunny, a little breezy. Those breezes will start falling off on Tuesday night into Wednesday. Temperature daytime will be in the low 80s, at nighttime around the 70-degree mark. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks very much, Godfrey. As you can see, we've made it from the outside back into the inside. We are not in California, but it feels that way. We are in the main simulation room of the LGM Maritime Academy, and we're very pleased to be joined this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise by the president, Dr. Brenda Clare, a former professor of mine. I still call her teacher. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, thank you.
And the chairman of the board, Mr. Chandler Sands. Chandler, good seeing you again, man. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you very much for having us.
Now listen, this is all very impressive and of course an integral part of the LGM Maritime Academy. We are in what you would call a simulation room.
Full bridge simulator.
Full bridge simulation. And obviously the students would get to work these tools from time to time. Well, again, let's have an introduction to the LGM Maritime Academy for those persons who would not be familiar with it. How long has it been in operation, and what do you seek to achieve?
LJM has been in operation for about 3 years. We opened our doors to the first cohort of students in September 2014.
Okay.
And what we are a tertiary level institution, nonprofit, and our aim is really to train and educate persons for a gambit of areas in the seafaring area. Persons who are interested in working on the sea, let's put it like that.
And when we're talking about this type of interest and maritime courses, what exactly would the students be participating in?
Oh, it's a whole gamut of classes. When we think about it, it depends on what program students are going in. We do have what we call short-term courses as well as long-term courses. Here, like I said, our whole aim and object is to educate persons. It doesn't matter which area you're interested in going into in the sea, on the sea. We have two main programs right now. They are diplomas in nautical science, navigational option, or you can do the engine option. It's a 3-year program. Persons will work with us here at the institution, pursue studies here for 1 year. Then they will go on the sea for their sea experience for another year and return to us for another year. At the end of this, they will then have gotten their diploma in nautical science.
And once they've gotten that diploma,
They've gotten that diploma in nautical science, what they will do is take what we call the Bahamas Maritime Authority's exam. And once achieving that success, having achieved that, they will then be able to work on any ship worldwide as a third mate or third officer.
I mean, quite an impressive facility. Today we're going to get to see it all. But there is a developmental plan, I would imagine, obviously, beyond just this particular phase of the Maritime Academy. Chandler, I'm sure, Chairman of the Board, you can just share some of those plans in terms of what's next. I would imagine there's several other phases to this.
Yes. Well, just before we do that, I think it's important for us to frame out the vision and the why. And there's several things that factored into that. The strategic location here is that we're positioned between two very large employers in New Providence. Bahamas, which is coming on stream, and it is estimated the Bahamas will hire about 6,000 persons. And then the Atlantis property, which is on the other vantage point, which is hiring, I think, anywhere upwards 5,000 employees. If you then look at the Prince George Wharf, right, we did a survey, and the survey revealed to us that any given week, there are 18,260 jobs on Prince George Wharf. The week we did the survey, there was 13 Bahamians on board. Opportunity.
Tremendous.
So Lowell J. Mortimer decided that he would invest into the future of young Bahamians, and he started us off with this program. Now the intent is that this would become a residential, so that we would simulate life on board a vessel here. This is phase 1. There are 3 other phases. Dr. Claire can speak to that. But the important thing about this key and this school is that we want to simulate life on board, so that Bahamian kids who will be competing with the 18,260s that are primarily Filipinos and Indians, that we will, once you leave this institution, you will be better than the best.
And presently we have less than 2% in the Caribbean working on sea.
Wow.
In addition to that, the BMA, Bahamas Maritime Authority, has 1,650 vessels flying the Bahamian flag. Our vision is, in part, to represent 3 persons on each of those vessels, 5,000 in 20 years. So that's the goal.
So, stunning numbers, which represents obviously a very significant opportunity for young persons wanting to enroll in the program. You talked about the Bahamas Maritime Authority. We're going to be speaking with them as well. But obviously there's room for partnerships in this vision that you so eloquently described.
Yes. Generally in the industry, a school like this would seek to partner with ship owners. For instance, if we have a cohort of 30 cadets, it is envisioned that those cadets on entry would be sponsored by a ship owner. For instance, you would say Campbell Shipping Company would say, these are my 10 cadets. And they see them through, and then after they start to serve, or after they would have passed their exams and go out to sea, they would spend a specific time with Campbell Shipping Company, just as an example. So we are looking for partners that will sponsor cadets on entry and see them through.
Okay, that's one type of sponsorship. Okay, we also talked about the development and the planning stages. Yeah. And as we mentioned, where we are now, we're in the simulator building. Our hope is, as Mrs. Santa said, is to have an holistic approach to education where persons come in and they are here for the whole training. So they're working here, they're living here, they're sleeping here, and they will have to get passes to actually leave the site. So our intent is to really have also another sponsor or sponsors to assist us in probably developing what we call a dormitory or living accommodations, along with a canteen. And so that is really another phase that we're looking at, because we have had some challenges. We have persons from the family of islands. We're an archipelago. Right. Many times students would like to attend the academy, but they're having challenges because there's no place for them to live, or they do not have a family member with whom they can live with. And so we have not been able to bring all those persons who would like to be here. Some have been fortunate enough to be able to rent, but if you're having to rent and also pay tuition, it's costly. For this, especially this type of education. So therefore, we are looking for some persons to assist us in sponsoring a dormitory as well. So that's another
I would
sponsor.
imagine there's also tremendous potential for persons outside of the Bahamas.
Oh, definitely,
become a part of
definitely. And we do anticipate that that would happen.
Well, I tell you, it's just an amazing facility. We're so glad that we're here. Looking forward to also talking with some of the cadets.
Yes.
And then, of course, just exploring this facility a little bit more. And for those persons, again, we're going to start off right away who are interested in learning more about the Academy. How can they be reached?
Well, we can be reached. We can, you can either call us, LJM Maritime Academy at 325-2121, or you can go on our website. Our website is ljmma.edu.bs, and you can explore that website. We also have a Facebook. So the opportunities are great. All you need to do is call us. We actually entertain persons coming in to visit the sites. We have many schools that have been coming in. Schools have been coming from Abaco and different places to visit the site.
Excellent. Well, there you have it. We are in the simulation room at the LGM Maritime Academy. We're joined by the president, of course, the chairman of the board, Chandler Sands, and Dr. Brenda McClure. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back after the short commercial break.
Have more than one stop to make, but can't because you spent all of your time at Water and Sewage trying to pay your bill? Are you spending too much of your time waiting in line? Paying your water bill can be so much easier. Get your bill through e-notification and pay over the phone, online, or save time by paying at your bank or at Cash and Go. It's that easy. Don't waste time. Stay off the line. Visit wsc.com.bs to learn more today. The Water and Sewage Corporation. Committed to growth, committed to quality.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want first response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Of course, Phil and I are having a wonderful morning here at the Bahamas Maritime Academy. And we wanted to continue this conversation by talking with one of the most interesting parts of our government system, and that is the Bahamas Maritime Authority. Interestingly enough, there are lots of things happening in our shipping registry that we should know some more about. And so we're very happy this morning to welcome the chairman of the Maritime Authority, Mr. Anthony Kikivarakis, to sit with us and tell us more about it. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you with us and to learn so much about these beautiful seas that we often take for granted, and I'm certainly sure people out and about enjoying the seas today and not even considering that we have one of the largest shipping registries in the world.
We certainly do. We are somewhere between number 5 and 6 in the world.
Wow.
In terms of number of ships that we have.
Okay.
Some 1,600 ships
Wow.
flying the Bahamian flag worldwide.
Okay.
And the ships that we have are cruise ship, oil tankers, um, cargo ships,
Okay.
and we even have oil rigs.
Wow.
Oil rigs are regarded as the ships, although they don't move, and they stay in the ocean and they drill for oil. Those are regarded as ships too, and we have a large fleet of those as well.
All right. I mean, when you think about those numbers, it certainly gives you an idea that some sort of management would have to go into determining who could register with us, who could fly that flag. Obviously, we would only want that flag to be flown in the best of circumstances and on the best vessels. So talk to me about what the management, I guess, of the Maritime Authority entails. What is your purpose and why were you established?
Okay. We were established in 1995 for ship registration because we saw this as a new industry. The government at the time saw it as a new industry and a very profitable one. And the major ship registrars back then were Panama and Liberia. And so we came in and we started the registration of ships. Basically, what it requires is that anyone flying your flag, you take full responsibility for them.
Wow.
And for what they do.
Okay.
So any crimes on board ships really fall under the Bahamas.
Wow.
How the ships operate, the labor laws and all of that, all fall under the Bahamas and have to be. The supervision of the ships, the inspection of the ships, all fall under our flag. We have some 200 inspectors worldwide who go out and inspect our ships on a regular basis and make sure that they're seaworthy.
Okay.
Now, in terms of where we are as a quality ship registry, we're not the largest ship registry in the world,
Okay.
but we have one of the highest standards of quality, and this is determined by what we call port state control. And when you go into a port and the inspectors in the port see a ship, they will say, okay, that is a ship we have to inspect.
Right.
Or, no, we don't have to inspect that. I can tell you that the Bahamas ships, because of the strength of the quality of our ships and inspectors, we get fewer detentions of ships, because ships can be detained
Okay.
than most other nations.
All right.
And that is recognized around the world,
I mean,
that in terms of quality, who we are and what we do. So numbers is one thing, but if you have a high quality, you will attract some of the better ships, some of the better clients.
That is fantastic.
And that's very important to us too.
I mean, and it certainly speaks to a level of excellence that the country has managed to take abroad. If we're talking about 1,000 ships, over 200 inspectors, as you continue to grow, because I assume that you would want to continue to expand this, what are some of the things that you see happening now? Do you have new offices opening? And then talk to me about that.
Okay, we are now in Nassau, New York. London is our main office. Hong Kong a branch office, and we just opened an office in Greece last year.
Okay.
And we about to open an office in Miami and in Tokyo.
Okay.
And we have to be in Miami because the largest number of ships that we have on our register are cruise ships.
Okay.
Which is good for us because most of them, we see them as cruise ships as floating hotels.
Right.
And so what the BMA has been trying to do over the last few years is try and get those cruise ships interested in hiring Bahamians.
Let's talk some more about that because obviously we're at the Maritime Academy today, and I kind of wanted to get an understanding of how an academy like this would work with an authority like your own, and how we can begin to continue to encourage Bahamians to seek employment for the country, but maybe even outside of the country in ways that they can grow and truly take advantage of so many of the things that we see around us. Yeah. So talk to me some more about career opportunities with Maritime Authority and the connection with this Maritime Academy.
Okay. Well, I always tell a story about, as a kid, growing up, my mom used to take us down by Prince George Dock to watch my father sail off on a ship because he was pastry chef.
Okay.
Back then, there were a lot of families doing that.
Okay.
Because every one of those ships, in terms of the crew, at least 80% were Bahamians.
Wow.
From the entertainer, the bottle washer, the dishwasher, the cook, everyone. So we had done this before in terms of getting on ships. Now, what we want to do here, this academy here produce officers, okay? They're at the highest level on the ships. And some of the young people, I think you may have interviewed them already or have been interviewed, you'll see, engaged in moving ships around the world, picking up cargo in Australia, taking it to Korea, and doing all sorts of interesting things. However, there's also the hotel side of the ship, where you can be in the kitchen, you can serve as waiters, you can do other things, and you move yourself on up. What the Maritime Authority has been doing over the years is we have been speaking with the Bahamas Ship Owners Association. So all of the ships that are in our registry, the 1,600 ships, we talk to the Ship Owners Association. And we work very closely with them with the purpose of trying to get more Bahamians working on ships. And we're trying to open the doors and make sure that that happens. And so that's an ongoing process, and you know, the training required and to be able to get our people on ship. Because quite frankly, if you've got 124 cruise ships flying the Bahamian flag, there should be some Bahamians on those ships.
Certainly there should be.
And so, you know, it's a matter of just keep pushing on that door to make sure that that happens.
Okay. Well, this certainly seems like something you're passionate about, and one that goes back, obviously, to childhood and those reasons why. What words would you have for those who might be considering a career on board a ship or uncertain about their future generally, in terms of encouraging them to take advantage of something like the work here with the Maritime Academy, or even with the Bahamas Maritime Authority? Because certainly I have a friend of mine who was a lawyer but spent some time working with the IMO abroad. What words would you say then, or possible opportunities that exist for those people?
In the authority itself, there are opportunities. Like I said, we have an office in London. That's our largest office in London. And, you know, we hire attorneys, we hire engineers, we hire people with technical skills in managing ships. So there are opportunities there, and then there are opportunities in some of our other offices as well. Like I said, we're about to open in Tokyo, and we're about to open in Miami, having just opened in Greece last year. So there are opportunities there in the authority itself, you see. And there are other opportunities because basically if we have so many ships on our register, from a legal point of view, disputes could be settled by arbitration, and therefore local attorneys could be involved in being arbitrators, or be in the whole process of trying to solve issues that arise on Bahamian ships at sea. So there's tons of opportunities, you know, but it's a situation that you got to keep pushing on the doors, you got to keep informing people. One of the things we didn't want to do is to try and talk too much about what's happening until we're sure that the door is open. You see, and so that's why we've been working with the Ship Owners Association. They seem very receptive, and we have 2 manning agencies locally now. The manning agencies actually recruit people to work on ships, and so that's new in the last 2 years. That we now have 2 agencies hiring people to work on ships.
Well, what we hope is that as you continue to grow and expand, as these opportunities become available, that you will join us again on Bahamas at Sunrise to talk more about it.
I'll be certainly happy to.
Certainly, we want our young people all across the Bahamas to know that these opportunities are available to them, and to encourage Bahamians to know more about the excellence that we have at sea. So thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be back with more after this commercial break.
At Henry F. Store Electric Company, we supply all your electrical needs for any size project, from residential housing to luxury hotels. We can help you achieve just the right look, from doorbells to chandeliers, table lamps to ceiling fans, wire, conduit, panels, dimmers, switches, plugs, and even tools. And don't forget light bulbs. We have those hard-to-find energy-saving fluorescent bulbs and more. Henry F. Store Electric, number 135 Mackley Street. Over 50 years of reliability, service, and low prices. We also ship to the Family Islands.
For the past 4 years, hyperthermic intraperitoneal chemotherapy, or HIPEC, has been performed by the Oncology Department at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The Bahamas is the first country in the region to offer the surgical intervention, which is designed to treat stage 4 cancer in patients whose cancer has spread to the abdominal wall or the lining of the intestine. HIPEC is just one of the many advanced procedures being performed at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, and of course, we've already had the opportunity to speak with the president and the chairman of the LGM Maritime Academy, but none of this works, none of it happens if we do not have the students. And we're very pleased to be joined by the following cadets. We have Kyle Bodie, he is from the 2014 class. We have Vandisha White, she's also from the 2014 class, or cohort as you call it. And of course, we have Mr. Dominic Beadle. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
You look just like your daddy. Anyway, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
You know, I'm going to say right away that this would be a very difficult thing for me to be a student on this island and in this particular institution, surrounded by all of this beauty. How do you do it? Let's start with you.
Well, pretty much you get used to it after a while, you know, and where the school is regimented, so
yeah,
you have to get used
discipline,
to it.
right?
Yeah, discipline. So you learn to enjoy the environment whilst learning.
Vandisha, tell us about, I mean, you would have started last year in 2016, is that correct?
Yes.
How has your experience been thus far?
My experience been good. Some good, some bad. Like you said, the discipline, that's a main factor here, and especially the mornings, 7:30, you gotta get used to that every day. So.
Yeah. Tell us about your classes.
Well, for me, I'm a deck option,
okay,
which means I study the navigational side of the maritime industry in terms of controlling the ship, how it runs, you know, the speed at which it runs, and delivering it safely to its port of call or to its final destination.
Dominic, you're sitting very quiet on the end there, you know. You also are with the 2016 class, and does it run for, how many years would the courses actually run for you?
It's 3 years.
3 years?
Yes, sir.
All right.
First year, strictly theory, practical, hands-on stuff. Second year, you're out to sea. And the third year, you're back preparing for the BMA exam.
All right. So 7:30 a.m. is what Vandisha says is a start. Run us through a typical day in the life of a cadet.
7:30, you have to be on the dock, waiting on the ferry to carry you. 8 o'clock.
And then you got to be on that ferry whether or not the water is calm or it's raging, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, you fall in for colors, the raising of the flag. 8:30, you have your first class. By 12:30 is lunch. And by 5 o'clock, you have the fallout, end of the day.
So tell us, you know, what schools did you graduate from?
I graduated from St. Augustine's College.
St. Augustine's College.
C.R. Walker.
The great C.V. Bethel.
The great C.V. Bethel. So what caused you guys to decide that this is what you wanted to pursue after graduation?
Well, for me, it started at an early age. You know, having the opportunity to travel on cruise ships always piqued my interest to see how these big machinery, how they could maneuver almost on a dime at times. You know, so that piqued my interest. That's why I leaned to the navigational side of it.
Well, I came to the Bahamas Maritime Cadet Program.
Okay.
So
you've
that,
been exposed.
Right.
So this is just the next step for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most? I mean, which particular, discipline or classes that you enjoy most in your time here?
Workshop, my favorite, because it's more hands-on and you don't have to sit in class all day. It keeps you alive.
Describe a workshop to me.
Workshop, that's where we practice how to fabricate materials. We do like drill bits, little small stuff to get us there, and our next course to be welding.
I'm still trying to get over why Dominic is so quiet on the end here, because I know your daddy. But Dominic, again, the same question. I mean, you're finishing your first year, you've got 2 more. What are you looking forward to most?
The experience.
Okay.
We already picture going out to sea, seeing places, and there's no better feeling to actually do something you love and get to see the world while you're at it.
So in 2 years, when you're through with 3 years, when you're through with the courses, what do you see as your next steps?
I'm trying to move up the ranks on board the ship and putting the Bahamas on the map, because like they say, we represent the Bahamas on any ship we go on, so that's what we're trying to do, and do that the best of our abilities.
Yeah. Well, I was speaking with Kyle, on the vessel, that same ferry coming over here. You've got it all mapped out. I mean, so you've got 1 more year.
Yes.
And what's next for you?
Well, what's next for me, this last final upcoming year would be preparations for the BMA exam, in which I plan to obtain my Officer of the Watch exam license for 3rd officer. and so that will be my next step. And just like Dominic said, moving up the ranks on board ship.
Well, after I do my third course, I plan on putting at least 10 years in the industry.
10 years, okay.
At least 10 to up my ranks, and then come back home to invest in probably a chartering company. Sticking with the maritime
Sticking
field.
with the maritime field.
Yeah.
Well, again, for those students who are watching, those persons who might not have been as familiar with this particular maritime academy, what do you tell young persons who love the sea, love vessels, and are thinking about maybe a career in that field?
I would tell you go for it. You know, it's very entertaining, very interesting. You get to travel. Everything is paid for, and you get to learn.
And you get to learn.
Most importantly, you get to learn as you go along. Every ship has its own personality, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. And Benicia, is this the place to be?
Yes, as long as you have a strong mind, you could get to it. That's the main thing.
You have experienced teachers, whereas it's a maritime engineer or a captain who could give you hands-on, and they could teach you based on their experiences. This is the best place to be.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it from Kyle, Dominic, and Bandisha. You can see very disciplined here at the LGM Maritime Academy. Listen, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We're really having a good time this morning, this beautiful Easter Monday morning. We'll be right back.
Child Shauna, another year older, and I just got a new smartphone and MNP for my birthday.
What's MNP?
MNP stands for Mobile Number Portability, and IRCA, the regulator, says that with MNP, I can keep my existing number anytime I make that change.
Really?
Yes. So that means that the girls won't have to remember a new number for me when I make that change. Thanks, MNP.
MNP, change your service, keep your number.
This was George not too long ago. George had a lot of debt. He wasn't very happy. Then, one day, a friend told George about Bank of the Bahamas' Fresh Start Debt Consolidation Loan, how he could consolidate up to $75,000 of debt into one loan with a single payment. Now this is George. With the extra money freed up each month, he can save towards his goals and enjoy life a little. Apply for your Fresh Start today. From BOB, your bank of solutions.
Sunrise, we're at the halfway point here at the LJM Maritime Academy, Phil.
It's been interesting thus far. I mean, again, we called it the best kept secret at the beginning of the show. But I mean, just being in that simulation room, man, it's just amazing. It almost feels as though you're on top of one of these big rigs. But what a wonderful facility.
It certainly is, and it's been great hearing even more about the Bahamas Maritime Authority, of course, learning more about that ship registry that we've got, and the fact that they're trying to channel that registry into opportunities for Bahamians is also exciting. And speaking of opportunities for Bahamians, we have to remind you that this facility is actually partnering with Urban Renewal. They've got a 4-month program going on with them. They're actually training some of the young people in Urban Renewal to work as deckhands on the ship. And so again, you see this complete circle of trying to get more Bahamians employed and giving them some skills they need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're going to be continuing on with the show, and we're going to hear more from the Bahamas Marinas Association.
Certainly. Looking forward to it. We've got all of that ahead for you and more. We're going to take a second look at weather, and we'll be right back after this.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you guys, and good morning again, Bahamas. Just second look at weather at Sunrise. Starlight pitch shows little patchy clouds across the islands. High pressure still the dominant weather feature, that high pressure east of the islands. In your marine forecast, we're asking parents to be alert today and exercise caution as their kids go into the water for the risk of recurrence. In your winds today, winds easterly at 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet on northwest Bahamas. Northeast to east at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over central southeastern islands, so you still have that caution posted. On Tuesday, the winds easterly again at 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet over the northwest Bahamas, continuing 15-20 knots, 4 to 6 feet over the central southeastern islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds become east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the northwest Bahamas, easterly at 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Yeah, tides. Just had a low tide at 6:56 this morning. The next high tide will be at 47 minutes past midday. Low again this evening at 6:50. Sunset is 7:34 this evening. Rises tomorrow at 6:45. UV index 7. Your water temperature 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon phase now moving towards the last quarter. And your extended look, partly sunny and warm temperatures during the daytime with a chance of 1 to 2 passing showers. Those temperatures daytime will be in the low 80s, at nighttime around the 70-degree mark. That would wrap your fun look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks very much, Godfrey. And for those of you who are just now joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise, we are certainly enjoying the island life here at the LGM Maritime Academy. And of course, we're now joined by a very old friend of mine. I'm not calling him old, but certainly I've known him for a very long time. His name is Basil Smith. And this particular hat that he's wearing today, he is the Executive Director of the Association of Bahamas Marinas. Basil, good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good to see you. Good to be back and good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well. So the Association of Bahamas Marinas, a lot of people may not be familiar with this. Tell us exactly what the ABM is.
ABM started about 7 years ago as the Marina Owners of the Bahamas and changed its name a year ago, just about a year ago, to the Association of Bahamas Marinas as a more marketable presentation, branding for the association. It represents, at the present time, just over half of the existing marinas in the country. It's in a very assertive, expansive mode, seeking to expand its membership and also to create an environment and awareness of the value of marinas in the economic mix of the country, so as to encourage further investment by private sector and otherwise, if necessary, in marina infrastructure throughout the country.
So when you talk about, half of the existing marinas, you're talking about, those within hotels, you're talking about private ones, and of course the length and breadth of the country.
There's 60 marinas in the country, of which the association represents about 34.
Okay. What are the benefits of being a part of the ABM?
Well, the ABM brings a single voice to representing concerns of the sector, and also it represents a marketing presence out in the marketplace. And so it enables you to advocate and lobby on behalf of the sector for areas of concern. It might have to do with security for both theft or aids to navigation and making sure those are in place for the safety of navigating Bahamian waters. And also largely to represent the members at boat shows and to do what's necessary to run a web page and Facebook page, social media activity to drive interest in the boating community in the marketplace to visit the Bahamas and primarily visit the members' marinas so that you get some benefit.
Yeah, you talk a lot about, obviously the expansion. I mean, seemingly we can't build enough marinas right now. But what role do marinas play in the overall tourism product and the mix that we offer to visitors?
You'd be surprised to know, actually, that the visitors that the marinas bring to the country, they exceed the amount of people who come here to gamble, for example, by about 2.5%.
Really?
It's a 2.5% more. 2.5 times more, I should say, who come here expressly to gamble, come here to participate in marina-related activity. There are more people who come here for that purpose than come here to come to the Bahamas to get married. More people come here than visiting friends and relatives. It's a significant amount of people, and they're very, very significant spenders.
Right.
And so it's a sector that, for some reason, has existed quietly in the background and needs to be taken more into consideration as a very significant factor in the economic mix of the country.
And when you're talking about the economic mix, I mean, it's not just the marina owners that can benefit from this. There are so many other additional side benefits and services, etc.
Tremendous linkages, the people come here for recreational activity, but they also shop, they also dine out, they dine in restaurants, they do a variety of recreational activity, and there's quite a list of purchases that they make to take home, and very significantly they buy fuel and services right across the entire archipelago, which is a benefit that extends to people who have no active recreational involvement in the marina, but these facilities exist because marinas are there.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting point then. I would imagine then the membership, if it isn't already such, for persons that want to be a part of the ABM, can also be extended to businesses that aren't directly involved. I don't know, there'd be
Yes,
restaurants.
we have Allied membership.
Okay.
We have a very active Allied membership, and they benefit in that way. The business provides linkages, that's the main thing, and the Allied members will be first in line to benefit from that.
Are there any particular challenges the association faces right about now?
We have a problem in common with all the citizens of the country. We have a problem with an increase in crime, and that is reflected in our case in boat theft. Some of these boats end up in other countries. Some of them just are never seen again. And we have been making some progress, largely because of the association's involvement in providing monitoring of the situation. The police force has credited us with being significantly contributing to the decline over the past 12 months. But it is a problem, you know. And obviously also the maintenance of aids to navigation around the country to make sure those are in good nick. That is not always the case, and it's an area actually that the association is looking specifically at, trying to make a more direct contribution to resolving.
Are there regional marina associations or global marina associations that you're part of in terms of expanding the benefits to those who would join the local one?
They are the most obvious, well, the most obvious two would be that in, say, Cayman or the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the United States, South Florida. We do have some informal relationships, but there's nothing formalized at this time. But that is something that we do have our eyes on through the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association.
Okay, right. Well, again, for those persons who are tuned in to Bahamas at Sunrise so early this Monday morning, and they're interested in this particular association, where can they go to get more information? Are there general and leveled fees?
Yeah, we refer you online now happily to our website, bahamasmarinas.com. And we also have a very useful Facebook page. All the information you need is right there. Contact information, procedure that you would follow, and lots of useful information about participating in the sector in various ways.
All right, great. Basil.
Philip,
Very good seeing you again.
Thanks for
I tell you,
having
boy.
me.
For those of you who are unable to see, but hopefully the cameras will be spinning around, a beautiful Monday morning, Easter Monday, and we're joined by the Executive Director of the Bahamas Marinas Association, Mr. Basil Smith. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Prime Minister Christie is looking out for all Bahamians.
He has really showed his commitment to the Bahamas.
The Prime Minister most definitely had a vision for Bahamian people.
When you look at our #1 industry, tourism, it's the pristine environment. The Prime Minister did major changes in policies. He's been able to make a real difference.
The Prime Minister has always been instrumental on wanting Bahamians to be first, and he was adamant about making sure that the beach soccer facility, from design to construction, be Bahamian-owned, Bahamian-driven, to show what we can do.
When Prime Minister created the National Training Agency, he really had Bahamian people at heart. Creating NTA not only helped me, but it helped a lot of unemployed Bahamians. The National Training Agency is a life changer.
The Prime Minister is very dedicated that we will have national health insurance. He is committed to help the people of the Bahamas.
The Prime Minister shows what Bahamians can do.
You have to take on some of the big fights if you're going to really make a difference.
Since 1967, Focal has been a vital part of the Grand Bahama community, providing high-quality products and great customer service. Today, we continue to work hard and remain focused on fueling growth for people throughout the Bahamas.
At TCL Group, we are nation builders, and we invite you to join us. Support Bahamas Business Outlook. Sponsor You and Your Money. Advertise on Bahamas at Sunrise. Be a nation builder. Partner with the Counselors Limited. Email us at adagency@tclbahamas.com or call 322-1000.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Well, we've had a wonderful morning so far here at the Bahamas Maritime Academy. We've talked with students, we've learned so much about the organization, but now we get to talk with the people that teach our students all they know and send them out into the workplace to become successful Bahamians abroad. So we're very happy this morning to welcome to our program Dr. Alvin Hepburn, Captain Aaron Batnager, Mr. Tyrone Brown, and Mr. Yuri Sinisin. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Certainly a pleasure to have such accomplished and wise gentlemen in my presence this morning. And I want to first begin by finding out what it is that each of you teach the students here at the Bahamas Academy. And I have to start with him because he's been so eager to be on the show. Dr. Hepburn, let us know what it is that you teach here and what your course entails.
Okay, here I'm teaching all of the math classes, the physics, thermodynamics, the ship stability classes, and then some more of the engineering classes, which is statics and dynamics, hydraulics, and fluid mechanics. Okay. Just to name a few.
Just to name a few. I mean, certainly you sound like you have the science part and the technology part of this and it must be interesting, of course, because our students are actually dealing with keeping something afloat in the water, right?
Yes, yes.
And so when we think about the fact that even ships are even able to sail, it comes down to some of the things that you teach them. What is important for students to be successful in the type of classes that you teach?
When I teach, I have to let them know that math is very important.
Okay.
And understanding and being able to have the grasp of math, that's the tool that is needed then for every class that they will take. Because even when we look at physics, physics is just an application of math. All of the classes that I'm teaching here is just application of math. So we are looking for persons with a very strong and solid background in math, and that's why we are offering the Math is the Foundation classes.
That could be scary for some people. Some people.
Oh no, math is easy. Math is
but
fun.
But you think anyone can do math if they apply themselves correctly?
Even if they can't do it, by the time they finish at LJM, they'll be able to.
All right. Well, you got that from the lecturer himself, Dr. Hepburn.
Yes.
I'll move on to you now, Mr. Brown. What course do you teach here?
I'm responsible for firefighting.
Okay.
And also I'm a fitness instructor as well.
Okay.
And I'm the regimental officer.
All right.
So I'm tripod.
All right, let me sit up straight because I'm talking to the regimental officer now and find out from you, why are those elements important when you're talking about a maritime academy? Obviously, there might be a fire on the ship at some point in the kitchen, so I can understand that. But why is fitness necessary and why is it so important to be regimented and disciplined when working on ships?
Well, I'll start with the regimental side first. As a mariner or cadet, you would be taking orders as well as giving orders, and later on Captain Arun can elaborate on that. So we tend to want to introduce our cadets to leadership rules, how to give orders, and at the same time how to take these orders. So when you get into the maritime industry, you will be well versed in the discipline side. And then coming from the Bahamas, we want our students to be the example in terms of discipline and order, in terms of the regimental side. So hence, we incorporated the semi-regimental aspect for the cadets. It's not a COB, it's not a high school. So you're going into industry where you're a high competitive field. So we want you to be above standard, and discipline plays the major role in that. On the fitness side, you're working on ships, whether it's a bulk ship or the oil tanker, and again, Captain Arun will elaborate on that side. You have to be in some physical shape. So leaving the academy, we would wish for you to be at the highest possible standard. When you come into me, you'll be a couch potato. When you leave out, you'll be Superman.
All right, nothing wrong with that.
Our students come in, non-swimmers, and when they're finished, they can dive up to 12 feet to the bottom.
Fantastic.
So the fitness program is exceptionally high for the academy.
And then talk to me about the firefighting as well.
The firefighting is, again, working on ships, part of the International Maritime Organization standards. Okay. You must be well-versed in fire prevention and firefighting, meaning as a part of ship's company, you will be called upon to work as a part of the emergency response team, which entails firefighting if fire happens on ship. And fire is one of the most dangerous aspects of maritime industry, all right? So you have to be well versed. So coming into the school, we offer the basic fire prevention, firefighting course, and also the advanced for our students who would be coming in later. So the program helps you, even as a layman, to get into the basic aspect of firefighting.
Well, I mean, you're coming away as an engineer, you're coming away as a firefighter, you're in top physical fitness, and of course now you can actually become a captain of the ship. And so Captain Aaron, what is it that you teach our students here? What are some of the things that they will work on as they try to grow up and develop the best maritime skills possible?
Okay, the training that we conduct at the Maritime Academy is driven by certain standards, which are global standards, and we call them standards of training, certification, and watchkeeping.
Okay.
Under those standards, there are 3 basic functions that a mariner needs to be trained on. One is to be able to navigate a ship.
Okay.
The second is to be able to carry different types of cargo and take care of that cargo. And the third part is the safety and responsibility of the people on board.
Right.
So the training part that I'm performing or training here is taking care of the navigational aspects, taking care of different cargo aspects, what a ship is, how it is constructed, what are the different parts of a ship. We take them through all of those things so that by the end of it, they have an understanding of what a ship is, how it moves, and what it carries.
Certainly very important, and of course, they are Bahamians, but our ship registries around the world. And so if they're fortunate enough, they will travel many parts of the world, even maybe getting into pieces of Africa. We know, of course, about the movie Captain Phillips and the types of things that can really happen on a ship. So it's important that they understand these basic tenets that you're teaching them and then know even more, as we can see from around you. For you, Yuri, what are some of the things that are critical to the courses that you teach?
So, well, I'm teaching engineering the objects, and basically what means that engine room for any particular vessel doesn't matter that's a tanker or like cruise liners, and that is the heart of the vessel.
Right.
If you have the smooth running all the engines and everything, that means that we got propulsion power. That means we got the power the vessel can move like. So technically, all engineers must be able to carry out all this watch like an engine room, and then make sure like that all engines works fine, all the maintenance programs going well, and it's as well very important aspect they can able to fix that problems, and they able to manufacture any small items or components from the engines, which is like very important. Most of the time, like they spend even that half of the time we spend classroom time and a workshop as well. That's a big impact, like for do some kind of like learn to how to do the welding, how to do machining, or some kind of fabricate or manufacturing small components like.
Right. So you're giving them a practical side of things as well as the theory side.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Those engines are critical to the ship even being able to move. And of course, if you're out to sea for some long period of time and something goes wrong, you have to be the one on the ground that can fix it because there may be nothing else around you.
Yeah,
because
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, because we got a nice workshop downstairs, like, and idea was some parts is not able to buy because they are far away from the shore and everything. What you can do? We're waiting for 2-3 weeks, like arrive in the port. So you can do it yourself. Like you spend like a couple hours, and you can fabricate like that part, and you can replace that, and you can. That's the big like impact because it's, the last about 10-15 years, all engineer cadet training they concentrate on that part. Like basically, they should be able to carry out like all the maintenance and like.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, listening to you all talk, and you can see that this is something that each of you are passionate about. I could certainly see where our students would really grow and develop. What I want to get the final word from you all is this program open to everyone? Is this something that anybody can consider coming into? Who should be looking to come to be a student here at the Bahamas Maritime Academy? Captain, I'll take that from you.
Well, life at sea is anything but easy.
Okay.
So I guess that's the first order of the day for people who were to consider this as a profession. Life on the ships is it gives you a lot of satisfaction. It gives you a lot of money, for sure. But yes, you have to work towards it. Everyone who thinks that it is easy life, and like you said, you do travel to different parts of the world, and you get to see different parts of the world. You get paid for it too. But at the same time, you are working in a hostile environment, if I may call it, because sea is a tough taskmaster. The ships undergo a whole lot of different weather phenomena. They have to bear different kinds of risks, even as you mentioned, Captain Phillips, so looking at piracy and all those things. So at the end of the day, each seafarer has to take into account that he is going to be away from home. He is going to be living in an environment where he could be dealing with different nationalities. And he has to be able to overcome all these challenges and come back home safe.
Well, thank you all so much. I know that you all do your best there to ensure that they're safe. I look at Mr. Brown. I know Mr. Brown ain't playing. Like you can see that even just in the way he sits, he is the regiment master here, and certainly you can hear the passion in each of your voices as you talk about the various aspects that you teach. So thank you so much for sharing with us and teaching me some lessons today. And we look forward to just seeing great things come from you and from the Academy.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be back with more here at the beautiful Bahamas Maritime Academy right after this commercial break.
The performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right into the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Your early morning television show coming to you live every Monday and Friday. It's Bahamas at Sunrise. Advertise your business or product here where the conversation is informative, entertaining, and provocative. Trust me, only good things happen to you and your business when you advertise here on Bahamas at Sunrise. For more information on how to advertise, contact Margaret Albury at the Counselors at 322-7505 or 06.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. Of course, we're wishing you a very happy Easter Monday, and especially from the folks down here at the LJM Maritime Academy. It's been a great show, Phil.
It's been a great show. I think our viewers need to come and get some of this wind to spend the rest of the evening just lying down. But listen, what a wonderful show, what a wonderful facility, and certainly those of you who are interested in learning more about the LGM Maritime Academy, certainly you can contact them at their website.
Certainly you can, and of course they are always looking for sponsors and opportunities to get more students involved, so feel free to write those checks as well. But thank you so much for tuning in today. We want you to have a safe and wonderful Easter Monday, and we'll be back with more Bahamas on Sunrise on Friday.
Ring, ring, ring.
The bell has rung. Bye.
Bye.
It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know